Hey everyone, welcome back. Haven't had much to update this month because it feels like I've barely read anything this month. I will have actually read 5 books by the end of the month because I plan on finishing the 2 that I'm in the middle of at the moment, but it's been a real effort. I am hoping that that will change in October. I have finally settled on a readathon for October after spending way too much time on Twitter trolling through the various readathon accounts and calendars to find one. I was hoping actually that there would be a Halloween themed one because I want to read some spooky books and get in the vibe. But the one I ended up settling on has absolutely nothing to do with Halloween. It is called the Whodunitathon, and the aim is not to read whodunits for the month, which I would find very boring because I need to mix it up. The aim is to follow the prompts through, and by following those, create the bare bones structure of your own classic whodunit novel in the style of Agatha Christie, G.K. Chesterton, all of those ones. So it's divided into 4 stages. There's the premise, the crime, the investigation, and the resolution. And so you can do the prompts within each stage in any order, but you have to complete a stage before you can move on to the next one. And in order to complete your mystery novel, you have to read 13 books in 31 days. So in the words of someone else on the Readathon Discord server, my book is probably going to end on a cliffhanger. But, you know, it's about having fun, and I'm not too worried. I am thinking that maybe if I don't finish it in the month, I will still stick to this TBR and just take that into November to finish it for myself. I do have a week off, so maybe I could speed through a bunch of books during that week and get ahead and complete it all in a month. We'll see. Anyway, so this video I am only going to talk about the premise and the crime, and I will save the investigation and the resolution for another video, which I'll put up next weekend. And so I won't be here forever taking up all your time talking about 13 different books right now. So the premise, the first thing we need for our mystery novel, for our whodunit, is a setting. I have chosen to set my whodunit in the middle of nowhere, and in order to do that I need to read a book that is set in an isolated locale. So I am going to start with a classic whodunit, And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I have only ever read Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie before, and I was actually really surprised about how engaging and accessible I found it. I often struggle a lot with the classics, but I had no problems with Murder on the Orient Express, and I'm hoping this one will be the same. That will be a good time. So this is set, I think, on an island. So very much fits the prompt, isolated locale, and is starting my whodunitathon off on the right foot. After that, we need an investigator, and my investigator is going to be a police inspector. And for that prompt, I need to read a book with C, I, and D in either the title or the author's name. I have chosen Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury, so which has all the relevant letters in the word wicked. I recently put out a call on Facebook and I think on Twitter as well, saying to people that I want to kind of dip my toe into horror, but also I am a wimp. What do you recommend? And I was doing some Googling as well, and this book was one that came up quite a lot. And I actually started the audiobook, but I wasn't really vibing with the audiobook. It was one of those where I was like, I need this book in my hands to fully benefit from it. So I went and ordered a copy, which I'm excited to start. It's also a good one for Halloween, even though I'm not doing a Halloween readathon. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I have read Fahrenheit 451, but it was many years ago and I don't really remember much about it. But I think this is quite different, but should be good. And of course, every investigator needs a sidekick. So I have chosen for my sidekick, probably doesn't really mesh that well with the police inspector investigator, but my sidekick is going to be an unflappable butler. So for this prompt, I need to read a book of non-fiction. I have chosen All I Know Now by Carrie Fletcher. I've recently started watching Carrie's YouTube channel. She's currently playing the lead in Andrew Lloyd Webber's new musical on the West End. It's a new version of Cinderella, and I've been really enjoying watching her vlogs from behind the scenes of that production. I don't know whether I'll be as into this book. She wrote it when she was 22, and it's sort of aimed at people that age and younger, and I'm 10 years older than that. But hopefully, you know, it'll be fine. It'll be a breezy read. We'll see how it goes. So now we have our premise. It is time for our crime. And every crime needs a crime scene. Mine is going to be in nature. Out on the moors or in a creepy wood. I feel like it is probably the wood for reasons I will explain in a couple of prompts time. So for the in nature prompt, I need to read a book with nature on the cover. And I'm going to read House of Hollow, which also came up as a creepy, spooky, not too scary recommendation. This is by Krystal Sutherland, and there are creepy nature flowers. There's creepy flowers on her face, so that counts. I have read one of Krystal Sutherland's books before, a semi-definitive list of worst nightmares, which I made a video about. I will put the link there. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that one. I think I might have even given it 5 stars, or if I only gave it 4, it was like high 4 stars. So I'm hoping this one, that one was kind of a magical realism one. I think this might be kind of similar from what I've been reading. So yeah, looking forward to this one. It should be a good kind of weird, spooky, Halloween-y read. So you can't very well have a murder without a victim. The victim in this crime is going to be a bright young thing. And for the bright young thing prompt, I need to read a popular young adult book. I have chosen One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, which I got for my birthday last year. I've heard really good things about this. It's part of a series, and I've heard really good things about the whole series. I've read a thriller this month, it was really disappointing. Like, I read it pretty quickly, it was engaging, but I got to the end and I was like, all that for nothing. Thanks. So I'm hoping that this one will satisfy my thriller cravings and will not leave me disappointed, and that in fact, instead I will want to go on to read the other books. Fingers crossed for that one. So a murderer needs a weapon, and my murderer is going to use rope for the weapon, which is why I suggested that maybe the murder happened in the woods and that my bright young thing has been strung up on a tree with rope, potentially. For the rope prompt, I need to read a book in a series, and I'm going to continue with the Spellslinger series by Sebastien de Castell and read Queenslayer, which is book 5. I am very carefully not looking at the back of the book while I hold it up here, because at the time of filming, I still haven't finished book 4, Soulbinder, so I don't want to spoil myself. I haven't enjoyed books 3 and 4 quite as much as I enjoyed books 1 and 2. So I'm hoping this one might pick up again. Part of that's because, particularly in book 4, one of my favourite characters was not as present as they are in the first couple of books. But once I get to the end of book 6 of this series, I can read the prequel series, which is all about that favourite character. And I'm very keen for that. We get to learn more of their backstory. So I'm keen for that. And I'm still enjoying the main Spellslinger series, so there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. This Sebastien de Castell has another fantasy series that's an adult fantasy, but it's set, I believe, in the same world but a different continent to Spellslinger, which is cool. I'm definitely going to check that out afterwards. I always feel really awkward when I sort of trail off after talking about a book. I'm still holding the book and I never know how to like transition. So I'm just going to put the book aside. So that brings us to the midpoint of our whodunit. We have the premise and the crime. Next weekend I'll come back with another video with the other 7 books, including things like the suspect, their alibi, the clues, all that sort of thing. And by then it will also be October, I think. Yes, so I'll be in the thick of it. And hopefully having a good time. Maybe I'll see you there. I'll put all the links below and you can join in. See you next time.